Sean Gifford is there for us. He's the global director of the campaign for End the Cage Age, it's called. Sean, welcome to the program. More than 1 million signatures on the petition, which means the EU Commission, because of its own rules, has to discuss your concerns. Tell us if this is more about ethics than it is about practicality, because practically, when you think about how many hundreds of millions of people in the EU eat meat, and then you have businesses, farms that have to make money, maybe cages, because of economies of scale, may make sense in terms of practicality, but obviously not ethically.
That's a great question. Fortunately, this is a situation where ethics and pragmatism line up perfectly. Look, we know that our current factory farming methods in the European Union are not only unsustainable, they're incredibly inefficient, and they're incredibly cruel for animals. You saw some of the footage there of mother pigs being kept in cages so small they can't even turn around to nurse their young. You know, egg-laying hens in Europe, many of them are crammed into cages so small they can't even spread one wing during their lifetime. So these types of practices, they're of course cruel and inhumane to the animals that are trapped in these farming systems, but they don't have to be this way. You know, there's a better way of farming where we get rid of the cages, put the animals back on the land. In modern farming systems, animals are kept in cages where they often can't do something as basic as spread both wings. You know, rabbits are kept in cages so small they can't even take a proper hop. You know, mother pigs are kept in cages so small they can't even turn around to nuzzle their young. So these practices are obviously cruel to animals, but they don't have to be that way. There's a better way of farming. It's through regenerative agriculture where animals are taken out of the cages and put back on the land. They're allowed to forage for their own food, and it is part of a vision of farming that the world really needs to start moving towards. Right now, it's incredibly inefficient growing crops on recently deforested land in, let's say, Brazil, growing crops to feed European animals on factory farms. What we should be doing is humans should be eating those crops directly. You know, plant-based diets, an increase in plants in our diets is a great way to reduce climate change and to contribute to a future of farming that's much better for all of us.
Sean, how can your initiative, End the Cage Age, compete with conglomerates and multinationals who have so much money to lobby politicians to preserve the way they are conducting their business?
There are powerful forces at work. You know, these multinationals and conglomerates want to keep the status quo as it is. Fortunately, businesses are on our side. So big behemoths like Nestle and Unilever have been petitioning the European Commission to end cages in farming systems. We have an incredibly powerful set of voices in the European Union. Members of European Parliament are petitioning the Commission and standing up for the protection of animals in farming systems. You know, these changes that we want to the way we raise animals, it's what the public wants. Businesses are starting to move in that direction. And if we want to get ourselves out of this ecological and climate crisis that we're finding ourselves in, we need a total revolution in the way that we grow our food and the way that we treat animals. And ending the use of cages is a perfect first step to get us to that future vision.
Some people are saying that if this business practice of animals in cages changes, it's going to make the EU's food more expensive, because you can imagine the EU maybe importing some products that are from countries where animals are kept in cages compared to within the EU. If it changes, they aren't. So therefore, there's a difference in price. That's just one example of how the price might change.
You know, right now across the European Union, farmers receive billions of euros in subsidies, and many of those subsidies are paid out to farmers just based on the sheer amount of land that they own. You know, those subsidies aren't used to encourage better and more humane farming practices that reflect organic farming methods or regenerative farming methods. So with a simple redirection of subsidies, from the European Union supporting farmers who are raising animals in more humane ways that are more ecologically beneficial. It keep the price of food, at that even keel where it should be. So it's really a question of governmental will, putting money into the right type of farming systems.
Thank you so much indeed, Sean Gifford. Really interesting initiative that you're a part of. Take care. Thank you very much for your time.